Hello, my name is Matt Lorenz, and today I'm going to be discussing a hostile work environment. I will also provide an overview of the topic. I will discuss possible legal implications and how some organizations can possibly avoid those. Analyzing applicable laws that protect individuals in a hostile work environment and the rights of the employees and potential employees. So I first want to say that a hostile work environment, if you've ever worked in one, is definitely a toxic environment that can destroy a culture in the company. We always say that people work for leaders and not for the organization. So therefore, if your culture in your company or organization is toxic and it has hostile work environment, it definitely can cause some disruption within the organization. A hostile workplace is defined as a behavior in a workplace that creates an environment that makes work difficult or uncomfortable. Another thing is that hostile environment also means that someone under a protected class, such as sex, religion, age, gender, those type of classes definitely can be considered a hostile work environment. The actions must be perceived as pervasive enough to be considered as abuse, basically. So a good example of what a hostile work environment could possibly be is myself walking up to a coworker and telling them how I really like their button, their jeans today. It looks really great. That would definitely create a hostile work environment. Now, a bad example would be someone at work who is just potentially tapping their pencil all day. Maybe they make annoying comments, not directed towards anyone. Things like that nature could be considered disorienting in the workplace, or definitely disrupting the workplace, if anything, but not necessarily a hostile work environment. So some ways a company or organization can avoid these is first, adapt a zero tolerance policy. Let your employees know that this is not tolerated within an organization and build that into the culture. Ensure that everyone understands that this is not a tolerated thing. There's so many employees that are working out there these days who are putting themselves in these positions where they are allowing employees to create a hostile work environment, and it's just not great for the individual or the organization. Train your employees, and don't just train them once. Like, you hire someone, you train them on the hostile work environment, ethics, and so on and so forth, but you don't repeat it. What if that person works for you 5-10 years? Do you think that maybe a refresher every now and then might be great on what a hostile work environment is and how to avoid it? I think that's a great potential advantage for a corporation to use that tool and help their corporation have more awareness. Supervisors should be trained differently, so therefore an employee's training on a hostile work environment should look different than what a supervisor's training on a hostile work environment should look like, just because the difference of level of supervision is going to put an impact on how that individual has to work throughout situations of a hostile work environment. And the third thing your company needs to do is take action. If they have a policy in place, they need to make sure that every investigation of all complaints is done. They need to be done completely to 100%. There are some applicable laws that do protect individuals in the workplace. First one is Title VII. The second one is just simply harassment. And the EEOC also enforces laws related to hostile work environments as well. But there are there are such cases where the instance can be such a severe behavior, it doesn't need to be repeated. So some severe behaviors would be racist or sexist comments, like the one I gave earlier about the person's jeans and their behind. So another thing is the rights of the employee. Every employee that works for you in your organization has a right to come to an environment where they feel welcomed, where they feel challenged in a good way and sense of development, and are able just to come to work and go home and not have to stress about it. You need to create awareness around this with your employees. So when you hire them, you talk about it. You discuss the fact that you have a no tolerance policy for hostile work environments. And it's just another great thing for retention as well within your company and your organization, is that you have that in place. So in conclusion, I definitely would recommend 3 factors that would help an organization. That's zero tolerance, train your employees, and then take action. need to do that consistently. Otherwise, you might be in trouble down the road, because if you're inconsistent ever, that can come back to haunt you. Awareness, increasing awareness through human resources, through employee portals, things like that, of maybe an 800 number they can reach out to if they feel like they have to report a condition or a hostile work environment incident. And that would provide a means of communication for them as well. So those are the things that I would recommend to help prevent those cases, and just understanding that a hostile work environment affects the culture within an organization. It's so toxic that you want to make sure that you have a zero tolerance, and prevention is the best way. So awareness helps, and that's key. Thank you.